When I was a child growing up, when I heard the word Hawaii, I'd make quick reference to the word paradise. That's what Hawaii is, paradise. It still is. But with the ever-changing population growth, baby boomers moving in record numbers, development, overdevelopment, cars, traffic, pollution, the islands are changing. Do we have any control over it at this point? That's my concern. My video is in no way trying to make a negative of the beautiful islands of Hawaii. In fact, I'm very pro-Hawaii, and that's why I made this video. It is a beautiful place. I want to keep it that way. I asked a question. Progress at what cost? Are the island's faces changing? Will we still refer to Hawaii as paradise? Or will it be an old, weathered picture postcard with palm trees and white sand beaches, a thing of the past? All cities go through changes. Yes, they call it progress. I call it regress. I feel it's up to us to preserve Hawaii in any way we can. I feel Hawaii is still paradise. It is the most beautiful place I've ever been to. I moved here. I cannot imagine the islands of Hawaii in the future. I don't wish to. Will the ocean that surrounds the islands be clean with no pollution? Will the surf still be blue with hints of turquoise? With the population growing, and with incredible amounts of development, will society in Hawaii come to a compromise? The compromise being a solution that limits growth on the island, maybe one that exercises stronger pollution control measures. Will hawkbill and green sea turtles still visit the shorelines to our delight? What I enjoy about the island so much is that even on a bad day, it's a good day. A simple trip to the quiet beach or shoreline can make all that bad seem miles away. Watching the surf roll in and feeling the offshore breezes is wonderful, and warm air embracing your soul. It's what it's all about. But imagine a Hawaii with polluted waters, with litter, with overpopulation, with people who don't care. I refuse to believe that Hawaii will come to that point. But as any major city on the mainland has experienced growth, with this growth has come these problems. I'm just hoping that it doesn't happen to the beautiful magical islands of Hawaii. I'm standing here at my home in East Hawaii, and it's no mansion, but it was my dream when I first envisioned coming to Hawaii and actually building a home out here, which I didn't think would ever happen. My enjoyment out here is so much different than when I lived in Seattle, and I find myself in love with gardening and watching things grow, picking fruit from my own backyard. It's quite phenomenal. The landscaping out here has been a phenomenal thing for me to get involved with. And thanks to my brother Al, who resides with me, we've been able to turn this lava rock 2-acre lot into something that's quite beautiful and enduring, and something that I think I find when I get up in the morning till I go to bed at night, a very pleasant, relaxing environment for me. So my thanks go to my brother Al for his hard work, for helping me create my little piece of paradise.
Aloha. There's no reason to explain who I am or what I am. The reason I'm here is because of the noise you're hearing. It's beautiful. And Sharper Image makes sound machines that produce this noise. I don't want to buy a machine. I love the ocean.
I returned back to Hawaii after 36 years in the continent of North America and found my people destitute, the Kanaka Maoli. And I could not understand why. I understood we were Americans, and this land that we live upon is known as Hawaii, the archipelago. And the host people of this aina, this land, is the Kanaka Maoli. And I find our people and my people in a very poor state as far as health, their gathering rights, their education, and they have been exploited by the United States. You notice I don't say United States of America, because in my opinion, United States comes from the British. And so state the United States. And so we need to do what the first people from Britain came to North America to get away from their king. Yeah, they came to North America to find a new life, free, and did well. But as they grew as a world dominating nation, they became just like the British, where they just the motto, I guess, for America is slash and burn, punish, 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 and they produce a lot of negative thinking within their citizenry. In 1893, the United States assisted in the overthrow of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Sent their Marines here to intimidate the Queen. To assist the conspirators, the missionaries who landed in Hawaii in the early 1800s, their descendants became part of this overthrow. Individuals like Thurston, Dole, and many, many, many others, including some Kanaka Maoles who tried to find the easy way of life rather than sticking with cultural and traditional ways. They went the other way. I say, those Kanaka Maoles who was easily influenced by the Western ways of living. So it's a long story. It goes way, way back. All of these problems that the Kanaka Maole encounters all comes from the U.S. We Kanaka Maole are not the owners of the land. They're the caretakers. God, in the time of creation, put the Kanaka Maole here to care for the land. However, the capitalists, came to Hawaii and they stole this land. They stole it and they sold it. And they're still selling it. They're selling it to large developers from Alaska, from Canada, Alaska, from the continental U.S., who come here and exploit the Kanaka Maole. We are the host people of this land, but they come here and they eliminate our gathering rights. They take and destroy the land system, and they bring a foreign law from Australia, and they implement it here. The law, the international law, states that man remains absolutely free and independent as long as they do not consent to another man or another nation. And so we are still here today, and will always be here. But if development continues like it is, regular 10,000 square foot piece of property used to go for $10,000, and now it's up to $100,000, $200,000. 3-bedroom home is now up to $4,000, and it could reach up to $1 million. We have many, many individuals or people of different cultures and nationalities who come to the shores, come to our shores. In our Constitution, the word of slavery terminates at our shores. However, we have rednecks who come to this country here and they want to make the Kanaka Maoli or whoever exists here like they do. They call us racist. The North American individuals, the Western world, are so racist.
You know, when people refer to Hawaii paradise, I think very, very few of the Hawaiian people are saying that. This is a nice place to live, and people refer this as paradise because of the trees and the flowers and the birds and the water and the white sand beach, and they come over here and are catered to by the industry of the hotels and the resorts and the golf courses. I think you better take a look at that word in regards to a lot of the people that this is home by heritage. And I'm not singling them out because we've created a hardship for today, you know, almost all without of the middle class and below. And when you look at the Hawaiian people, we've made life very, very difficult for them in regards to just to be able to afford to live here. And I think if you look at all the research studies done by the state and by the county government, you're going to find that the vast majority of them, Hawaiian people, that this is their home from heritage. If it weren't for some of the Hawaiian Homes Project, if it weren't for family assistance, if it weren't for government subsidy, they wouldn't be able to live here. You know, I know there are a lot of people out there that are confused and even, you know, maybe even a little anxiety or fear in regards to the Hawaiian movement of a nation within a nation, of total sovereignty. I think I've met with most of the groups, organized groups, in regards to different positions. This is what I told them about the element of total sovereignty. I understand their position, but I think I speak for the tens of thousands of people who are like me, that this is my home. You know, this is my home, but I am not of Hawaiian blood. And naturally, like many others like me, everything I have, I worked for. And I do mean everything I have, my family and I worked for. And I love living here. I love being a citizen of this place. And if total sovereignty was to occur, Harry Kim would have to make a decision. Do I stay here as a non-citizen, or do I move somewhere on the mainland and continue being an American citizen? And, you know, this is a difficult thing for, I think, people to understand, that this is something of fear, that you don't want this to happen for you and your family, of everything you have. So it's very difficult to embrace a total sovereignty movement. But that does not take away the fact of understanding of why there is movement by some as far as total sovereignty. That the takeover of Hawaii was an illegal act by people who did it. And this was a nation of itself, and therefore, you know, to return to that of the Hawaiian nation. I ask of all who are non-Hawaiians only this. We must understand why there are so many strong feelings in regards to the Hawaiian movement of different kinds, whether it be nation within a nation or total sovereignty. And of this I ask of the Hawaiian people, you know, for us who are not Hawaiian people, naturally there are anxiety, and what we have to do, we have to have a better relationship to communicate both sides to each other. So whatever happens can be done in the best way possible.
Well, what is the future of paradise? Well, like any growing town, in any community, in the continent of the United States, Hawaii, the islands of Hawaii, is going to grow. Population is going to grow, and is going to be Lots of people, lots of cars, lots of developments. So the future of Hawaii, is it still going to be paradise? Paradise, I still feel, is something that's inside your heart. And no matter what the population is, no matter how much traffic, it's within the hearts of the people that really make it paradise. Sure, Hawaii is not a perfect place, as any place I know of is perfect, but it is a place of beauty, and it is a place that's very spiritual, and it's a beautiful and wonderful place to live. But you have to also understand that it is like any place, as I mentioned, that it has its problems with crime and good people, bad people, as anywhere in the United States. Do I think it's paradise? I moved here. You know, it's really hard for me to understand is how or why anybody wants to live in Kalapana. I mean, Gail, you told me that you had lived in Kalapana. I guess you were there, and was it 1990 when the flow came in, and your house happened to be one of them that got destroyed by the lava. What was the situation going on there with that? Why, first of all, does anybody want to live on what is basically defined as a very volatile area to live in the first place? I mean, this is close to the lava flow, and it's all lava rock. I mean, what brings people to live so close to a dangerous zone? I mean,
well, many years ago, about 40, when I first saw Kalapana, I didn't know this then because I didn't know anything about this area then, but there hadn't been a lava flow in Kalapana for 200 years. So this was not, you know, you forget. It doesn't take people very long to forget. It takes about 15 years for a lava flow to become ancient history. Yeah? So when I moved there was no lava flow. There was Kapoho had been, and the 50 flows down the coast had been, but there was no lava flow awareness. And then when I did see it, and the experience I had there was so old-timey, was so old Hawaii, was so beautiful, it became my dream of about 20 years standing to live there.
so you lived there for how long?
I lived there for 12 years.
12 years.
From
That's
September
a long time, yeah.
2nd, 1977, when I moved on horseback. I was on a cliff. I went to the park, I went someplace, and I realized how lonely I was. There was no place for me but home. My whole heart was home. I went back home. I got in my bed, my cats surrounded me, I heard fires burning, you know. I stayed that night. And then when the lava flow did cross the road and there was no more access home in your vehicle, right? Then I took off that morning in my truck, and I didn't go home because I couldn't. Now the first night I actually slept next to a friend's house in Kalapana, in an old abandoned water heater thing next to the house, going, oh my God. Okay, and then I asked an old Chinese friend of mine if I could stay in his shed that was on the back road. The shed was filled with junk. It had no water. Step into a battery. I had a little platform like this to sleep on. He said I could as long as I didn't have anybody else up there. So, but I was still in Kalapana. And then, see, I had yards that I did, houses I cleaned. Everybody knew me. So I stayed at a house that is still there that belonged to friends that they built from scratch. And because I used to clean the house, I used to do the yard, I stayed there. But my cats were still back at my home. Every day I hiked in for almost 7 months. One day when all the Kavalo family had planned to gather, and I was going to go in with them, the flow field was so hot and so dangerous and so horrible, I would never have gone in on my own. But they had made a family plan, so they went in. I normally came out at 1:30 because I was washing dishes at Kalani Honua. I had to go to work. When I came out, was it that day? I don't know if it was that day, but they stayed in. They didn't come out with me. There was a day that halfway across the flow field, which was at least a quarter of a mile, I got caught in what I couldn't understand Minnie's story when she said she wanted to jump on Willie's back, but she didn't. I found myself in a circle with a diameter of about 12 feet that had dropped down. I was in the middle, dropped down this much, and the molten lava was oozing into it right there. If I had shooken out of control with fear or whatever, I wouldn't be telling you the story now. It was a meltdown. My vision of Hawaii is that Hawaii is probably the most powerful, special place on the planet. The most isolated landmass, the most mystical, marvelous, magical place there is. It is a treasure. This is my little tomcat Yogi. Ukuberry and I ran out of gas. We're trying to take care of business. I got a backpack. We're walking down the Black Sand subdivision, and in the morning sunlight I see these 3 little wild kittens snuggled up for warmth on a little cliff. I go, the time is now or never. I went back, I put him in the backpack, and Yogi's here to tell the tale. Me and Ukuberry and I rescued this kitten. Don't you nail me, Ukuberry. Ukuberry says I can't go any further, Mom. I can't take it any further. Well, I was coming around the corner of where the old Emporium used to be in Pahoa, heading for the health food store. And down below, about 100 feet away, I see this sign that's about 1 foot square on cardboard, and it says, "Goat for sale." And I go, "Whoa! There's my goat!" I always use this expression, you never know what's around the next corner. Well, here it is.